I'm really happy today that we are going to introduce a new person as a guest speaker. She is not new to share everything, but definitely for the first time she has been here as a guest speaker to tell us something more about storytelling. I'm really excited to know from her what exactly she wants to inform us about this concept. Everybody has their own creativity, ideas, and from everyone we can teach or learn something new. And I'm here today to learn something new from Preeti Dhawale ma'am. So we are going to start this beautiful session right now. Let me invite Coach Bharti Tiwari. Teacher Bharti Tiwari is also traveling with 𝐿𝐴 Global Foundation. She is very committed and she is full of knowledge. She has a lot to share with 𝐿𝐴. She is a regular member of formal session as well as grammar session. Coach Bharti Tiwari will introduce our guest of honor, Preeti Dhawale ma'am. Over to you, Coach Bharti Tiwari ma'am. Welcome.
Good evening and good morning to all of you. This is Bharti Tiwari and I am from Chhattisgarh and I am being a teacher. Right now, I would like to invite Preeti Dhawale ma'am. She is a very nice and a beautiful ma'am with us. She is a postgraduate in economics. She has a 16 years experience in corporate industry. Currently, she is a homemaker. Her hobby is gardening and cooking. I have no words about to her. So right now, ma'am, this stage is over to you. So you're most welcome here. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nupur ma'am, for those kind words. And I'm very obliged and honored that you have welcomed me on this platform today to discuss the topic of the day, storytelling. So, storytelling reminds me of my childhood, starry nights, my father, all the memories, the way he used to, share the stories with us and all. Like, this is the most wonderful memory that I have in my heart. So be it the hare and the tortoise story or the Bermuda Triangle, they still keep me mesmerizing and wondering. And these are the most joyous memory that are engraved in my heart. Let me ask you, what do you think about storytelling? Any of you?
It's an art. Actually, this is a custom which being practiced from the years. So that for generation to generation, we transfer our messages, our stories, so that it's a beautiful way to connect with people, and especially with younger generation and the old generation, right? So it's a beautiful tool, I must say.
That's nice.
So I think the story is the best way to convey your message. It is the way that you convey your message, but the other in a very comfortable way, and the other is not going to feel offended even. So that is the best way.
In a simple way, what I would say that storytelling is passing information from one person to another person, okay, with the help of words, poetry, picture, sound, music, imagination, and emotion. Emotion is the most important thing. The way you intonate your story. For example, once upon a time, there was a little girl. So if we tell this story, once upon a time, there was a little girl, it sounds so boring. So your feelings, your emotion, your intonation is very important to grasp the attention of kids or grown up or whoever is our audience. Okay. So importance of storytelling. What do you think is importance of storytelling? So they say that those who tell the stories rule the world. Why do you think? Think about it. Why it is said like those who tell the stories rule the world. This is very famous Native American proverb about the storytelling. You through the evaluation process of storytelling. So right from cave painting to folklore, epics, religious writing to carving and sculpting, handwritten stories, then the courtly romances, the play that used to happen for king and queens and their court people, then plays, then printing press was introduced. After printing press, journalism, then novels, then editing, films, and so on. As of now, we know that we are using TikTok videos and digital stories and so on. The videos and all something like every platform is filled with this kind of small stories. And I would like to let you know that this is the most oldest form of communication. So if we look like in India, we started practicing Vedas. Okay. Similarly, in other countries, like in Greece, they have this Iliad and Odyssey, eight Greek epic poems written by Homer. They are still very popular even today. So it is a way of human to tell that they have control over the world. So that's why I said the one who tells stories rules the world. So the one who tells the story, like if they are having that power of grasping people's attention and all, they really rule the world. You have seen politicians like Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, for example, like they are very powerful speaker and they have hold all over the world. That's why storytelling is very important. There is one more thing, like if you can't tell anything, you can't sell anything. If we are quiet and if we are not meeting people, if we are staying at home, no one will come to know about us. Why do we need to listen to their stories or why we need to tell them stories? Anyone?
Basically, behind every story, there would be a morale or what we are trying to tell them, how to live in reality or real world. And also, kids like stories. So, it's always to boost up their creative knowledge or creative thinking and logical sense as to what can be done if this is the situation in the story. So, that's what I think.
Those who are saying story, when we tell story to smarties or small children, it can be given in a good way through stories. Instead of asking them to do something through story, we can give them morals. And second, when we listen to them, we can know their visualization, their imagination. And I believe Sankalp se Siddhi. So whatever we imagine, there is nothing which is impossible. Once we think, we act on it, and then we achieve. So our dreams become reality. So let them come out with their own dreams and we can train them there. So that is the benefit of that.
Like if we tell them stories, for example, kids, or if they are seeing some cartoon character, they will imagine they are that character and they will understand emotion. This will build empathy in that, which is very important, emotional learning. And it is very incredible process of child development. And when we read story, they develop the love for reading, which is very important. Kids don't read these days, they just watch laptops and movies and whatever. So if we incur that habit in them, and if we incur the habit of culture of reading in our home, it will help them to develop further.
Ma'am, will it develop curiosity and honesty? Two factors.
Yes, they will develop. Yeah, it depends like how we are channelizing them, how we are creating them, and what they are reading. The content is very important. If we give them read any cartoon book which do not guide them well, then the purpose is not solved. So we should be very conscious what we are giving them to read. Secondly, it's like as you said, like it will build the sense of imagination, and they will like when they imagine. Okay, so whenever the thought comes, the first process is imagination. Okay, then they will put them into words. Okay, the words will go into action. Okay, the action will form habit, and habit will form their character, and character help them to be well-being, like a good human being. Study published in 2012, which shows that how story create a neutral connection between the storyteller and the listener. This is because similar part of the storyteller brain and the listener brain is activated during the process. And this process is called neutral coupling. So it creates a sense of comfort between the storyteller and the listener, be it child, be it grown up. So we always like to see the serials that we like. We are having something similar in it. So it is very important for every parent, every elder to have this habit of storytelling to their kids. This will help them develop their creativity, imagination, language skills, and strengthen their visual cognition, memory, and problem solving skills. And it will also teach them to express their own opinion and view, which is very important. If we don't have our own opinion and view, it becomes very difficult because they won't learn what they want, how they are related, and this will create problem in future. They will just follow blindly. And it is also very important for emotional development, because emotional development through stories, they will come to know about so many emotions like joy, courage, fear, and how to overcome fear, how to overcome obstacle, and what it feels after they've overcome the obstacle. They have the sense of achievement. So through story, it is kind of their training, that we are training and nurturing their mind to solve the complex problem. So this is a tiny process which we can incur each and every day for our own child development. And it also improves their comprehension skills. Like most of the kids, they do not have capability or patience to focus for very long time. They immediately lose their interest. And to make them aware about the interest that they should incur in them, it is very important for us to teach them how to be focused, listen, and understand each aspect. And it also creates a sense of belongingness, as I said. Like humans are weird. They are wired to connect with each other with help of stories, and stories just do that. They connect us from various part of the world, some way or the other. So this is the human tendency. We have the urge to connect with each other. And that's why stories are very important. It also improves their social skills. How does it improve? Anyone can tell me. How do you think like the social skills improve through storytelling?
It helps children to improve their social skills, respect elders, national integrity, and brotherhood as well. Yes.
Great, sir. Great. Yeah. What happens like when we tell them stories? Storytelling encourage children to pay attention and focus on the speaker. Okay, because children must be allowed to speak and talk, not only learn to listen. They should have their own voice. They should know what they want and what they don't want. So that is very important. And it also widens their perspective and start to see the world from other people's point of view. If they are just in one closed environment, and if they don't explore anything, they never get to know what's happening in other world and how people react in other cultures and society. So it is very important for us to introduce how there are cultures and how there are diverse culture and how we should respect them in spite of our differences. Okay, it also sharpens their memory. Like if you tell them stories, and in between you ask, what do you understand? What do you think about that girl? Should she take challenge or should she be quiet? So they will start thinking. This will, this will trigger that thinking ability and sharpen their mind. And end of the story, you can also always have the open-ended questions to them. Like, what do you think? What do you think? What you learn from this story? So it will sharpen their memory. And as I said, it will widen their worldview and improve their intelligence. It improves their listening and focusing skills. And when we tell them stories, they recreate the scenario mentally. Now, I would like to ask you, why should we care about the psychological comfort of storytelling?
whenever we are just want to talking about the storytelling, and if we are just want to talking about the psychological state, so in that way we can also understand the psychological situation about the children.
Every story is not suitable for every stage, right? So of life. So sometimes some stories are not suitable for children, but it may be it have a lot of insights in it. But that's why we have to consider: is this suitable for that age group of children to listen to this story, and how well they grab it? So it depends on the age group also. So we have to take into account on their age group and how language and things like associated with the psychological things, so that how well they can get this story. Otherwise, it won't be beneficial, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, we have to explain, we have to tell the story according to the mood and the time of the student. What is, in which psychological phase she or he is. You can't tell a story to anyone who is in a very happy mood and you're going to tell the story of some sad event or like that. So you should be very aware of that. And that is a reading. That reading should be there. And that is a body language reading, that if she or he is comfortable going with that, or you should stop it, your message will not go there.
That's very true, ma'am. Like, that was really like good answer from you. Thank you so much. There is a saying of one Danish author, and Isak Danson. He said, "To be a person is to have a story to tell. We should be one who are able to tell our own story." Nowadays, most of the parents depend on convenience of technology. We have phones and laptop and Netflix and what all Prime and this and that. So we tell kids to watch whatever thing they want. Like, we give them their own account and you can watch from it. Fine, it's okay. Don't trouble me. No one is able to help it, but we have to control it some way or the other. However, in this process, we are losing the human connect. We are not able to speak or connect with each other. Okay, it's a modern era, and what we call is a great screen age, right? So we have search engines and AI at our services all the time. We are loaded with oceans of informations, okay, and content, and we no longer depend on human experience. We no longer would ask any expertise, what is your opinion on this? We will certainly go to the Google and we will Google up some information from here and there and gather, but we won't ask the next person sitting to us, what do you think about this? What do you think we should be doing? So they will give you more human experience or expertise. Can I tell a short story? It's a story where I have read somewhere, since the creative person in me was, triggering me to do something or itching me to, put this story across. There is once this very poor boy, and he finds some crystals. He is not sure if it is stones or crystal or diamond or something. He finds that on his native land, like whatever village land they had. So he found them. So he rushed to his father and says, Father, see what I have found. I found this crystal. His father takes a good look at it and he says, okay, tomorrow is a Sunday market. I want you to go to that market. Ask any person, what is the value of this crystal? Okay. So he goes to the Sunday market eagerly and he finds a lady over there. And he asks, how much would you pay for this crystal if you like it? So the lady says, I'll pay you £2. So he said, let me ask my father first. So he rushes back to his father. So the lady is very happy to find this crystal and she's okay to pay me £2. Should I sell her? His father said, no, don't sell it today. Tomorrow you go to the store and try to sell the stone to them. Okay. So he rushes the next day morning to the nearest store and he asks the value of that crystals. The store owner, he gives them the option more than the lady gave him. So he's very happy. He is giving good amount. Father, shall we sell that to him? So he said, no, we won't sell to him. Okay. In the evening, you go to the jeweler shop and ask him the price for this. So he rushes to the jeweler shop as told by his father, and he is getting good amount of money from the jeweler shop. So still he denies. So he says, tomorrow morning you're going to dress up nicely and you're going to go to the nearest museum and sell these crystals to him. He is very annoyed. Why my father does not want to sell this crystal? We are getting so much of money and we are short of money. We are already broken. Why don't he think on this point? He should really sell this immediately and permit me to have that money for ourselves. So next day morning, he dresses up well and he goes to the museum. The museum person offers him a very handsome amount of money. Okay. And then he returns to his father. And he said, how you got to know that the museum person will be giving me hefty amount? Okay, I always knew that. I just want you to find out the worth of the things that you have, how much it is worth of. Similarly, we can replace this crystal as our own ability, as our own story. So each one of us have a story to tell, but it is very important who you tell the story to. It is like the qualities that we have within ourselves all the time. But whom you are selling your qualities or your skills, your virtues is very important. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. I appreciate your time.
We had lots of sessions on storytelling by various personalities. One was Jadal sir also. Everybody has their own ideas. Storytelling is an art of making connection, and communication is as well an art. Those who are the masters of storytelling, definitely they can grab the world. So here I congratulate you for this beautiful session. And now it's a time to invite our reviewer, Coach Gajendra Jadal sir.
Thank you. I'm Gajendra Jadal from Maharashtra. Today session is really mind-blowing. It's special remarkable for all of us because we learn a lot from this session. It's a very interactive and informative session. The topic which was chosen by ma'am, it's really awesome. Let's focus on some point which was told by ma'am. First of all, I would say that stories make language alive. It plays a very vital and important role in the field of education. Storytelling is such a tool by which teacher can create a numbers of good qualities within student. Some stories are very moralful, very thought-provoking stories which leads towards the personality development. Stories can create imagination power and creative thinking as well. It helps to improve some social skill, such as how to respect elders, national integrity, brotherhood, patriotism. Moreover, I would say that if you talk about some ethicals and moral values, so definitely some ethical values are deeply rooted in student mind, like honesty, compassion, kindness, gratitudes, hard work, etc. Madam started her session with the celebration of Mother's Day. That's really nice of you, ma'am. Later on, Madam also focused on many things, how important the story is, which are the qualities can be created, which are the morals can be created, like imagination power, creativity, how the student or the young ones can create the creativity in his mind, how emotional develop can be created by telling the story, how can overcome the fear can remove, phobia can be removed by telling the stories. As we all know, we recall the memories and we used to enjoy this story. Why? Because there is a great interaction and the communication with the grandpa and grandmother as well. Ma'am also throws a light how the stories are more effective psychologically. That's really important to all of us. And Madam also choose light on in this technology era how the stories are being told to the student, but that is not more effective than the old one, because in the past time we used to listen the stories from our grandmother and grandfather. That stories we used to enjoy, we used to take interest more and more, because there is a great bonding, there is a great attachment towards the grandparents or our parents. That is more effective. And at the conclusion part of the story, Madam told us a very beautiful story that is very important to create good moral values. That's really amazing. Why? Because we learn how to tell the story, where to tell the story, and what's the tools we should use. While telling the story, we should use the facial expression, hand gestures, body language. That will be very effective. I'm very, very grateful to ma'am. Really, it is wonderful session by your side, ma'am, and definitely we are looking forward from you the many sessions like this. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Really, you had added up certain other things also. Facial expressions and gesture. Yes, that was a fantastic review on this wonderful session. It was just extraordinary.